Hey YouTube, what's happening? Want to make another quick vid of this weekend's pawn hauling slash garage sale hauling slash community sale hauling. Got up a little bit early this morning, went out, hit a couple of pawns, and while I was driving around, I did find some community sales. Also found some garage sales that I thought were pretty cool too. Um, First things first, I actually hit a Walmart for lunch to get something out of the deli and a drink. And Walmart in Kemah, Texas, actually had these um, stock mounts for clearance for $8. These are the aluminum. They also had the exact same ones, pretty much, for I think it was like $15, and they were the steel, all steel ones. So I thought that was pretty cool. I grabbed a pair of those, especially because I found this bad boy today. This is a Montgomery Ward's Western Field scope. Now, the reason this is cool, and normally I wouldn't have picked it up, but the reason I did pick it up is because I have a Western Field Model 72 lever action 30-06 at a pawn shop that I have on layaway, and I figured if I'm gonna do that, I might as well get a Western Field the Western Field scope to go along with it. These were sold specifically, they're Japanese. Oh, they're made in Japan, but they were sold specifically through Montgomery Wards. Anytime you see Western Field stuff, it was sold through Montgomery Wards as part of their sporting goods section. You would also see stuff like this through Kmart, what I think was J.C. Higgins back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, stuff like that. Another cool thing, though, this actually was it was $5 at that community sale, which I thought was really cool. I've cleaned it up a little bit just because I wanted to make sure that it was going to be clean looking enough to put on that lever action when I pick it up. I don't have very much left to pay on that, honestly, and I probably could have picked it up this weekend, but you'll see later on in this video another reason why I didn't pick that up. I grabbed a couple of other things just because I didn't want to spend as much cash. I have a budget that I kind of stick to, and I knew that I had that on layaway, and I didn't want to have to spend that money. Well, I didn't want to have to spend all the money, and I knew that I could leave that there and then get this other stuff that I'll show you later on in this vid here in a second. But the second cool thing that I found at that little community sale was this Ward's Model 20 scope mount, but it's got a Weaver B6 scope on it. And this is a side mount. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. Yeah, see the side mount right there for a, it's like a little rimfire scope, honestly, for like a 22 or a 22 mag, something like that. Maybe, from like the 50s, 60s, 70s. This mount actually does the job of what a scope would do, honestly, where it'll level out and you can actually sight in the scope itself if it's just a fixed scope, if it's a fixed hairs. Now, this particular B6 Weaver, you can actually take these caps off and actually do it like that. But if you look at that mount, what I thought was really cool is very old school, and you can actually adjust the way the scope lines up if it was a fixed scope for a little 22 rimfire, like I said, well, not even a 22, it could be a 17, a 22 mag. I mean, just a little rifle. I mean, they're always awesome. This was pretty cool. I found this today. This is running off of the serial number, this is a 1976 H&R Model 732. This is a 32, it shoots 32 Smith & Wesson or 32 Smith & Wesson long. 6-shot revolver. Everything on this thing works perfectly. Everything cycles. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have picked this up, even with how cheap it is, just because they don't like stuff like this. I absolutely love stuff like this. Budget stuff, even from back in the day, I thought was really cool, especially I picked it up for a Benjamin, really. It was $100. So fully functioning, Really kick-ass. I thought it was awesome, but I had to bring it home. The last thing that I picked up will probably just end up being a truck gun, but it's a CPX2 Sky. I mean, we've seen these. These are all over YouTube. If you haven't looked them up, look them up. I'm not going to even go through it. Just know that this is a very, very budget handgun that I bought for even lower pricing than what they usually are. I bought this for less than a Benjamin. So, but they're great guns for what they are. They're not any kind of H&K. They're not any kind of high end. It's going to go bang whenever you pull that trigger, and that's really much all you need. So give me a second. We'll go downstairs and we'll look at the stuff that I have in my car still that it's probably going to stay there for a little bit because I have no room for it.
A few moments later.
All right, so these are the last couple of things that I ended up picking at that pawn shop, actually a different pawn shop. When I walked in to go pay for and get my lever action out, I decided not to. I left the lever action there because I wanted to grab this and then a couple of other things. But if you're firearms guys and you're watching this vid for that reason, that you know that the Savior brand is the cases that are on Amazon. This just happens to be the biggest one that they have on Amazon. They used to be like $129. I think now it's a 2-rifle case. I think now they're like $99. But everything's there. Everything functions as it should. And I grabbed that for $40, no tax. And then he had this other one there. And this was $25. This is just a regular AR case. But while I was making that deal, he had them both. He said, man, he's like, if you take these two, I might have another one in the back I'd give you for free. So he ends up going in the back and he finds that M&P AR case as well. So I paid $40, $25, so that's $65 for 3 cases, where that big one is actually a $99 case from Amazon. So I thought that was really cool. Then I happened to get home and I started looking through all the pockets and tap that, nothing here. There's something in here. So I open it up and there's actually there's an Amend 2 AR-15 mag still sitting in there, which is awesome. Extra mag, pretty wicked. And then the final thing that I ended up getting at that pawn shop is something completely unrelated to this video, but he had this Seiko sitting in there, and it's, I don't know if it's going to focus or not. He had this Seiko sitting in his case, and I was looking at it and pulled it out, and the bracelet was super small, like a child had it on. But other than that, everything functioned. The chrono functions. Everything is fine. And he said that I wasn't the only one that had said that. So he had $45 on it. He said because the bracelet was so small and I was going to have to either get links or a new bracelet, that he'd give it to me for $25. So I paid $25 for that Seiko. Really cool. I ended up having a bracelet at home here in my stash because I do kind of like watches. But I ended up having that, and then we just put it all together, and that was it. So it was $25 for the Seiko and $65 for the rest of these cases. So all in all, a pretty good weekend. And there's still deals out there, guys. All you got to do is go hunting. Flea markets, garage sales, pawn shops. I know a lot of people don't like pawn shops anymore because they say they're overpriced, but if you hit them enough, you start getting familiar with them, with the people that are there that work them, they'll give you deals, man. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching.